Hello class, welcome to the digital dice tutorial. So this is the second project in our module that we have in our drawings. So last project that you did, the cut block, we learned how to create a new sketch. We learned how to sketch the actual object. We learned to use a dimension tool to make it the correct size. And then we learned how to use the extrude and cut option to make our parts or to give our parts a little bit of depth, what we need. So on this project that we have, this digital dice, we're going to add to that. So you can see here that we have a 2-inch by 2-inch by 2-inch cube. And the cube itself, we should know how to do its review from last time. The thing that we're going to add to it is what's called the point and hold command. And that allows us to do the numbers on here and on the sides of our actual dice. So looking at this, a couple things about this drawing that you see here. This drawing that you see, we have a couple different color slides, a couple different types. So what you see on here, and if I come down to the orthographic view and I look at my front hand side view, so I have these things that are called object lines. These are my circles. These are the actual objects of the part. So you can see the 5 here represents the 5 on the front of my cube. And remember, orthographic drawings, I'm always looking at my front, top, and right hand side view. And it should match your isometric view on the top. So these are my objects. Now these little red ones on the outside, these are called hidden lines. And hidden lines give us details about things that we cannot see in a part. So if I'm looking at this 5, I can't really see how deep when we extrude these holes in or we drill the holes in, I can't see how deep that they go in. So this gives us a little bit of visual of being able to see what the actual hole looks like on the inside. If we would cut that part kind of in half, that's what we'd see on the side. So that's what the hidden lines are for, just to show us the objects that we cannot see from the front surface. So what we're going to start out, and we're going to start out with making a 2-inch by 2-inch by 2-inch cube. So I've already opened up my software. So you're going to open up Autodesk Inventor. And when you get to the home screen, you're going to click Part to open up a new part. And if you're already in Autodesk Inventor, all you're going to do is go to New Part and open it that way. So this is my drawing area. The drawing is clear right now. And just like last time with the digital or with the cut block, we're gonna come up and start a new 2D sketch. And we're always gonna start on an XY plane right now. So I'm gonna click XY plane. And I'm gonna draw a rectangle. And again, it doesn't matter where right now. And I'm gonna use my dimension tool. And I'm gonna mention my bottom line. So this is my width, 2 inches. And over here, because some of my square got lost over here, I'm just going to hit my magnifying glass to position it back in the center. And then I'm going to change my height to 2 inches. So I have my 2-inch by 2-inch cube. Now I need to extrude it. So whenever you're done sketching and dimensioning, you're going to come up to Finish Sketch. I'm going to use my doghouse to position it back in the center. I'm going to hit my Extrude option underneath the Create command. And 2 inches. And I'm actually going to send it backwards this time. So direction 2. And then I'm going to select OK. So I'm going to use my doghouse again. It will position it back in the center. So again, this should just be a review on how to make a cube. Again, it's 2 inches by 2 inches by 2 inches tall. So now the important part is putting on the actual holes of the dice. So on the front view, if I switch to the actual drawing, on my front view of my cube, I need a 5. And that's where we're going to start with. So on this, I'm going to go up to Start 2D Sketch. And I'm going to click on the surface that I want to edit or that I want to add product or items to. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to select on this front surface. I'm going to click once on it and it lays it flat. So up on top here on the Create, there is an option called Point. And the nice part about the Point command is I can put a bunch of points in here. And when I select the hole option, it will automatically cut and center those holes right where that point is. So that's what's nice about the point command. We could technically use the circle to do it. The point command is nice because a lot more options to work with the actual holes when we get to the dice. So I'm going to select point, and I'm going to come down here to my cube that I have, or my dice that I have, and I'm just going to put 5 points in. And it doesn't matter where they're at right now. So my 5 points. Now this is the tricky part about this, and this is kind of tough about this program, is when I go to dimension, we have to dimension these points and the location of them. Every hole that we drill, we always need a location, vertical and horizontal location, plus a size. And we'll do the size here later. So we need to do our dimensions away. So if I look at my drawing itself, and I look at the first hole, it's showing me from the right-hand edge, these lines from the right-hand edge is going to be 0.5 inches to the center of the circle. And then if I look from the top edge, it's also going to be 0.5 inches away from the circle. So on our program, we're going to hit dimension. And this time, we're going to set the point command first. And we want to say that we want this point to be a 1/2 inch away from the top edge. So I'm going to come up here. I clicked point once already. I'm going to come up here to this top edge, and I'm going to click the top edge. And you should be able to get a dimension tool. And if it doesn't show up the first time, just click it again. And I'm just going to drag this out to the right. And I'm going to type 0.5. So I have it positioned vertically. So I need it horizontally. So I'm going to select the point again, the point to this edge, to the right-hand side edge. And it's going to be also 0.5. So that's going to be the same thing to all 4 corners here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click on the point to the bottom edge. And it's going to be 0.5 inches. I'm going to click the point to the right-hand edge. And it's also going to be 0.5 inches away. So same thing for this one. Point to the bottom edge. It's 0.5. Point to the left-hand edge. It's going to be 0.5. Point to the left-hand edge. It's going to be 0.5. And then point to the upper edge. It's going to be 0.5. So I have all these points located in. The only one I need left is my center one. So my center point on this, if I look at my drawing, is going to be 1 inch by 1 inch away from the edge. So it's going to be exactly in the center. So I'm going to use my dimension tool. I'm going to select my point to the upper edge. That's going to be 1 inch. I'm going to select my point to the right hand side, and I'm going to move it up. That's also going to be 1 inch. So for every point I have it positioned horizontally. So if I look at this point here, I have this one positioned left and right. And if I look at my arrowheads, and this one I have positioned up and down. So after you have all the dimensions done to each point, I'm going to come up to sketch, and I'm going to use the hole option. So under modify, I'm going to hit hole. And notice right now, when I hit hole, the holes go all the way through the actual dice, and we don't want that. So down here where it says termination, termination means where it ends or it's ending. I'm going to change it from through all right now because that's making it go through the whole entire part. And I'm going to go and change it to distance. So this is the actual diagram of the hole that we see. So you can see here, this is going to be my height or my depth of the actual hole, how far it's going to be drilled into the material. So I want to change that to 0.25 of an inch. And this is going to be my diameter. And I'm going to leave that 0.25. So I'm going to click, when I'm done, I'm going to click OK. And now if I take a look at it and I can spin this view cube around, there's the 5 for my dice. So on your own, we know now how to do the corners. So when we look at the 3 compared to the 5, the only thing is different about the 3 is you're just missing these 2 points. All the dimensions are going to stay the same. So you're pretty much going to just repeat the process going through to put the rest of the numbers on. So you're going to put a 3 on this side. So you're going to put the number 3 on this side and a number 1 on the top. And then on the rest of the sides, it's going to be up to you on what numbers you want to do. But when you're done with the dice, it should be have all 6 numbers on it. So 1 through 6, we just did the 5 together. So when you're done with it, I showed you last time, you're going to save it as a file, as a part. So you're going to save it in your H drive, and you're also going to save it as a JPEG to put in your portfolio.